Welcome to the Shy Tea. My name is Janelle, and I'm here to recap season 6, episode 4 of The Shy. We also have a very wonderful guest that we're about to introduce you to. His name is Dom, and he's here to give us the lovely Mills perspective. And I just want y'all to sit back, relax, and just enjoy the conversation. Make sure you comment and add to the conversation using the hashtag ShyT. Let's dive in. How has the shy impacted your life? I already know it took a dope individual to even put you onto the show. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. um, so again, thank you for having me. The Shy man. I'm really invested this season. I had to go back and watch all of the other seasons to get caught up. But I'm really invested this season because this season I feel like the Shy is really speaking to a lot of issues and where each character is, currently in their lives, minus Duda, of course, I'm joking. But, um, you know, where each character is, you as a male, right? I can pull from each one of them and
Right.
relate to where they are in their lives. So that's really huge for me.
Now, what would you say is your favorite thing to see on the shy?
Um, totally honest, whoever is styling these guys, man, oh
Yeah,
man, kudos, kudos. I mean, Victor, fly,
as hell.
Duda, Duda, fly.
Real
Okay.
spiffy.
Um, who else? Emmett. Oh man, every time I see Emmett, his beard is perfect. You know what I mean? And I'm a man. I'm just calling it like it is. I mean, but it just matches his entire fly, man. From
Right.
from the did he have one cashmere? Was that cashmere?
It's something.
It looked nice. Okay, it
It
looked
looks
really nice.
expensive. I know
It's expensive,
that.
absolutely.
So let's just dive in. So this episode, what it did to me, if anything, it made me want to throw my own 420 party.
Absolutely.
It just set the tone of just being around good people,
Hmm.
unpacking a lot of baggage. It gave you
Hmm.
a good balance of all of that within this
Hmm.
episode.
Hmm.
And we had a very special cameo this episode. I don't know if you recognize Miss Tony Childs, honey.
Talk about it, and she entered in Tony fashion. Okay,
Oh, yes, she did. She
no,
came with a bang,
listen,
literally. Duda was tearing it up.
listen, and I got to say this, about Duda's character, like, and this is again coming from a male's perspective, right? Duda is the flyest gangster I've seen on TV in a very long time. Okay,
Right.
he when the camera, right, when the scene comes in, Duda is first of all in a bathroom, obviously. Now the bathroom's dope, dark tiles, and he's smoking a cigar. I thought he was in like one of those bath houses, right, that you go. But he's chilling, smoking a cigar, and all I see is this hand running up his chest. I'm like, oh my man, look at him. I'm
My
clapping in
man, Duda.
the background. My man, right?
Right.
And you know, and then she comes up, wig is wet, eyelashes is wet. I'm like, oh, she was doing work, okay?
Not the wig is wet.
Wig wet, everything, and he just sitting there in regular cool boy fashion. I just know he was like twiddling his toes or something, right? And then she gets up, he's talking to her, and before he give her the old school, you know what I'm saying, the old school wine, she talked his language, which was money.
Hmm.
He's like, I don't really smoke that shit. You gonna make so much money today, and he just got in his face. He's like, oh, you talking my language? And
Hmm.
you see, he gave her the old school circles, okay?
First of all, it's, it's scenes like this that be having us real people messed up. Because no shower scene be happening like that in real life. Like, let's be all the way honest. We breaking necks in the shower. It don't be looking that good. That's what we aim to look like, but it don't be that.
That scene was just it was so dope. It was dope.
It was. And then it just had to get interrupted by Rosalind.
Shout out to Rosalind.
Rosalind is Duda's wife, if you guys don't know,
Mhm.
and she just messed up the whole scene. Like Duda was really tearing it up.
So yeah, okay.
He was.
Yeah, yeah, he was. Now I'm not doubting that, but I think she messed it up for a real good reason, though. No, okay,
No, so all I was saying is, if you're going to interrupt a session like this, it
right.
better be damn good.
Yeah, absolutely,
It
absolutely.
better been good because she just came out of nowhere, and I just find it crazy how she knows all his women. Like, how do you get to a setup like this?
Um, I
Good
don't know.
answer. Good answer. Good answer. All right, let's keep it moving.
I'm not.
So we see that Duda, he leaves the bathroom just to go get his to have his conversation with Rosalind, and I'm just like, it better be good.
Right.
After that, that's when we get to see Emmett, Victor, and Shad all at the house, and Emmett is frantically looking for this damn gun.
Absolutely.
He is damn near tearing the house apart trying to look for this gun.
Right. A whole week later, still.
A whole week later, where the gun is, and I'm sure he still didn't tell Keisha. And they're
Okay.
looking at him like he's crazy. Like, you need to chill out. Even Shad was like, "Listen, here, just take this blunt because you need this medicine."
Shout out to Shad, man. Finally smoking in the house. Shout out to Shad,
It
man.
wasn't his house, so
I
he
mean,
not.
but still, he not outside. It's really cold out there, man. I feel shot pain.
Yeah, he just needs to start working, and then, maybe his girl would.
All right, no
I
comment.
don't know. No comment.
I ain't
That's
getting
not
in
my
that one.
business. But I knew exactly what time it was once I saw them starting to make that infused butter. I'm intrigued because I never had like the butters. I've done edibles before, but I never had like infused foods. Have you?
So, I've never had the infused. Similar to your story, had done edibles, but never had the infused.
Okay.
But I'm all the way set across the board
It made me want to try some new things
with it.
just watching this episode.
Right.
Um, but Emmett's frantically looking for the gun, but then they just have a moment to really sit down and talk. You could see that Victor had so much on his mind. He looked a little bit overwhelmed, but that's when um, Shad started talking about, his current state. He feels like his world is closing in. And I could only imagine a man living at his woman's house, not feeling like he could maintain his keep, how that could feel and how desperation could cause you to make certain decisions.
Right.
Um, but they get to talking, and this is right up Victor's alley at
Mhm.
this point.
Shout out to Vic.
um, Especially since he needs to find a mission to focus on with him
Right.
being city council.
Mhm.
So they're talking about their issues briefly, and he just wants to chop it up the next day. But I didn't think it was going to be a whole planned out event. Did you
Right.
realize that?
I didn't think so either. I thought it was just going to be like the boys, probably in a more intimate setting. But
Hmm.
when I saw the setting, I was like, okay, everybody here is legit, except for chief of staff. I was just, kind of
We'll get back to that when we get to that scene. But
okay.
I didn't think it was going to be a whole setup.
Right.
But this, when Victor said God is his therapist, this
Mhm.
is what the Black community has thought of therapy for a long period of time.
Was it
We've been
was
conditioned.
was it Victor? Or was it Shad?
It was Shad.
I don't think it was
It was
Shad. Right,
Shad.
right, right. I
Sorry,
remember that. Okay.
it was Shad that said
So,
that. You're
and
right.
that was real. That was a real statement.
It was a real statement because now these days you don't even know who you can trust.
Hmm.
But we've also been conditioned to think that you have to be crazy in order to go see a therapist.
Right.
We're not looking at it as a way to just be better individuals or
Right.
communicate with people better. If we keep continue to look at therapy as a way of um, improvement and not in a negative light, I think we would go so much further as a community. So I
Hmm.
like that they highlighted this in the show, and they really start to unblock a lot of stigmas that our community has seen over the years.
Right. Right. Shout out to the Shy man for
Shout
real.
out to the shot. Thank you,
Hmm.
Lena Waite.
Right.
Gotta drop the Q bombs on for her.
Yeah. I appreciate you.
So we get to see Rosalind finally come to tell Duda what's going on. And this is when we learned that Q was an informant for the FBI. I
Man,
did not see that coming.
I didn't either, but when it was one of those moments when she said it's kind of like, okay, I can
It
kind of
makes
see it,
sense,
right,
right?
right, because the way that he was like reintroduced.
Right. And then I'm trying to think about his final interactions. So it made me want to just go back to see if there was any signs to lead to that. But you know who I think is an informant?
Who
Kenya.
really?
I think something up with Kenya. We gonna
I
get back to her, but something
okay,
up with her.
okay, okay.
Just let that
Something
marinate
was
though.
up, but I don't
Something
think
is
she
up
was
with
wrong
her. Okay.
though.
And so when I was about to say Candy, we know Candy is the person that plays Rosalind, so that's why I almost had that slip.
Right,
But Rosalind tells Duda that Q has been an informant, but she also knows that they don't have enough evidence to pin Duda to this, but he cannot in no shape or form be pinned to this.
right.
So I was very shocked when he said he dumped the body in the river.
Yeah, I mean, of all the places, right? That you could have dumped the body.
Now I know I'm gonna reference another show, but
Right,
Payne dropped the body in the river and it washed up and it caused a lot of drama.
right,
I'm just saying, get rid
right,
of the evidence a little differently.
right.
I'm
Okay.
not a part of the mafia by any
Hmm.
means, but I just know that won't be it.
Right. That's not the route.
That's
Um,
not the route to go. So I feel like it's gonna wash up
yeah, I was gonna say, is that like foreshadowing what's gonna happen? You know,
something.
because they're highly concerned about it, and I think that Rosalind, knowing how he may have disposed of it, probably in the back of her mind, she's like, yeah, that might not have been it, but okay.
And then who is her ears? Because how did she know about him killing the dude that was chewing gum?
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
Who's her ears?
But you know what? Her character, I could see why she would have ears. She encompasses it all. She's the glue.
Right.
Okay, she's the glue that probably keeps that whole organization, everything running. Okay, Duda cannot survive without her.
That's the only person Duda would answer to.
All right, very true, 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 true.
Hmm.
Strong woman. Every single person
Strong.
there is a strong woman, right?
We get to see Tiff now. This goes to show my love for the film
Mm-hmm.
aspect of the
Mm-hmm.
shy. Seeing the transitions, seeing how they incorporate people for the themes as
Mm-hmm.
well. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you peeped, but Tiff dropped her 420 menu,
Right,
but
right,
they transitioned to each person that received the menu,
right. Mm-hmm.
and we saw them placing the order.
Mm-hmm.
We saw them, seeing how they partook in the 420 day, the
Right.
series, or whatever you want to call it.
Each one,
I
yeah,
thought that was so dope.
that was.
So I'm Darnell.
You got regular flowers.
Like, you got regular flowers. Like, what this gonna do? I got things to do.
Absolutely.
Like, tell me which one I need to get at this point, or you need to put a description or something, because those names is looking real scary.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And
I need
Jada,
this
she's so cute. She was trying to get that massage, that little
Mm-hmm. I caught.
massage oil.
I know a few Jaders. Okay, they put right in the mouth.
Okay.
Boop.
Like, rub it all over me.
Yeah. He like, you think you funny, huh? Okay.
And he was all for it.
Yeah.
He texted and got some. You already
Oh,
know.
shout out to Jada.
So then we got to see Dre and Nina put in their orders. Nina
Mm-hmm.
was requesting some watermelon gummies.
Mm-hmm.
Fatima was tearing them infused wings up that she got from Emmett's house. She
Right.
was tearing those up and got another order. And Nuck was putting something on to Bakari. I think that was like a dab, what they call it. I'm not sure.
I wasn't sure either, but I
But it's
do
some
think it
sort of
was
liquid.
mm-hmm.
Um, but I loved how they incorporated that. Not only is Tiff about her bag at this point, but
All the way.
I love how they went all the way around just to see how the cast was partaking
Right.
in the 420 festivities. And I was jealous.
A little jelly. You
I
a little jelly?
was. I really was. Like, I wanted to be a part of the party.
Yeah.
Like, was this real? Is it real what they smoking on set?
I, so I agree. But I was more with Victor. Like, man, listen, bro, we ain't gonna take care of none of my bro.
I mean, you don't even want the S. Come
Right?
on.
He looked so stressed, but I related to that to him in that moment. Like, man, that well, even though I
That's
would, that weed ain't
true.
gonna none for me right now.
And then he got to stay on his P's and Q's too.
True, true.
Like he is the voice of the people now, so he
Yeah,
can't just be chilling regular like normal folks. You
right.
gotta, carry yourself a certain way. So I know that alone has changed his dynamics.
True story. True story.
So after all of that, we get to see it happen. Y'all thought I was playing when I said Shad is probably gonna be a part of the turtleneck crew soon. Y'all thought I was playing, but we see Duda and his crew come walking into the garage,
Listen,
and here comes Shad, just come rolling up from under the car,
you rolled
like
up from under the car. Don't do that. Listen, shout out to the turtleneck crew. Listen, do the Karaka turtleneck though.
oh,
Get
he
that man
does
his
rock the
credit.
turtleneck. It's, not everybody can wear a turtleneck,
Absolutely not.
but these
Absolutely.
minions, okay, is recruiting real quick. Because I
Yo.
knew that Shad couldn't say no, but for so much longer. But I didn't think it was going to be the next episode.
But you can see that Shad's character, and I know we're gonna get there, but Shad's character is really struggling.
He is, he is,
And
and he don't know how to ask for the help.
he but not only ask for the help, but it's like he know it's danger. He's trying to tread softly. You know what I mean? But he's really, really going through a rough time internally. You know what I mean? Wow.
Hmm.
And like he said, I'm listening to all you guys here talking. I can't even get a job. That is
Right,
real. That's
right.
real.
Now, do you think it's pride too? Because if you
Pride
cool
in
with
what sense?
Emmett, because if you're cool with Emmett, I would think that he would at least got something to hold him over at
Oh
Smoky.
yes,
You
yes, I do
know?
agree. I do agree with that. I think that there's a sense of pride in it, like because I think if I'm not mistaken, maybe this one the last episode, there was a conversation between him and someone where they were saying, well, why don't you do this? He's like, man, that ain't no money.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. He
So
did mention
I
it because
think it did.
somebody did say Smokies.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out what happened with the Rock. Did that dissolve when Victor started running? Because I thought he was a part of the Rock staff.
I don't know. I don't know.
Y'all
He
let us know.
was.
Maybe we missed something.
You're right. We're gonna have to look back on that. But he definitely was when the Rock was up and coming, and Victor was making a transition from the neighborhood, so to speak, into his position. Um, but somewhere through it all, yeah, Shad kind of fell to the wayside, for lack of better words, right?
Hmm.
And you can see that evident, especially in this season, because he's him and Victor. He's like, I didn't see you in a minute. He's like, I'm just really trying to get the city together. You know what I mean? So there is some type of disconnect there.
And I feel like I picked up a little bit. I know we're going back a little bit, but when they was on the scene at Emmett's house, his body language was giving me he feels kind of abandoned by his friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
he is yearning to talk to someone, but
Mm-hmm.
he knows he got something that's bigger than even him,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't want to be that person to add more on to
Right.
his plate.
He's feeling a lot of pressure, man. He's feeling a lot of pressure, just like many of our black men are feeling.
Hmm.
Um, but then also again, it's that not only do you have that internal battle, but then when you go home and you got to sit there knowing that your lady is the breadwinner and you can't smoke in the house, right? I
Right.
must say Darnell gave him the best piece of advice he could give him right now. He said, "You
Open
better
the
keep
window.
on laying that thing
Oh,
on
that and
it,
open the
okay?
window.
You better keep on laying that thing on it, kid,
Right.
because all right.
And I
Shout to
don't
Shad,
know.
man.
I hope he's doing it right.
He doing something right.
He is.
He doing something right.
So Duda pays him, and I wonder how much it was. He pays him, and he lets him know, listen, there's more where this came from. So if you need a job, come holler at me.
Yeah,
And
and he's
Shad,
struggling.
kudos to him.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm very aware where it's coming from. That's why it's a one-time job.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He exit stage left.
Yeah.
Like, I like at least that he is like, okay, I'm just trying to hold myself over. Let me try to get out. But
Right.
I feel like that's already just opening the can of worms.
Yeah. Nobody so far for what I've seen. Nobody who even like really came into contact with Duda on that level was able to like really walk away clean.
Right.
You
Right.
know.
That is true.
So I know he's hedging, but I think he's already way too deep.
It's already done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Can you clarify? Because I got a little confused here. So after Shad left, Nuck showed do the bag of guns, but I wasn't sure which client that was from and why they have to urgently get rid of it.
So what I got from that that piece right there was apparently he was supposed to deliver those guns to someone and they
Okay.
didn't show. So when he came back, he was like, "Yo, what is this?" He was like, "Your client didn't show." He probably got scooped up by the feds and whatnot. Because remember, there's a looming quote unquote investigation, kind of like you know.
So that's the wrong thing to be in
Right,
his shop,
right,
especially after speaking to Rosalind.
right. He was like,
Okay.
"I can't have these nowhere around me."
Right.
Um,
I
yeah,
thought I was missing something.
right. No, you got it spot on.
Okay. So he's instructed to get rid of those guns. And in this moment, when Nuck asked Bakari to do that, I really thought he was about to fix his mouth and say Lene. I really thought he was gonna fix his mouth and say Lene.
Nah, he
You
wouldn't do
didn't think so?
that. Nah, he wouldn't do
I'll be reaching. I'll be ready.
that. Nah, to that. He wouldn't do that.
Okay,
He can't do that.
because she just finished. Like he just finished making promises he can't keep.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's where I think that's where why my mind went there.
You know, I don't think I would have been very, very surprised if Bagari said that.
Yeah.
Very
So
surprised.
now Nucka's mission: get rid of these guns.
Mm-hmm.
And Dre gets a blast from the past.
Yeah. That, what did you think about that? First of all, also shout out to Dre. Dre's. I don't know if it's one stylist or two style. I don't know, but Dre's outfit was
But Dre is fly
all the time.
on screen and off
Right.
screen.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like I truly feel I don't see her. I think she goes by Robin Hood, so I
Mm-hmm.
see her sometimes on social media a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like she gets to go to work and just be herself.
Mm,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
she
saying?
definitely
So
okay.
that's why you get authenticity
Mm-hmm.
from her character.
Mm-hmm.
But when she got that blast from the past,
Mm-hmm.
hands down, she is always ready to set a boundary.
Yeah.
She is
Yeah. Dre don't play.
always listen. Y'all better have y'all notes ready when y'all looking at Dre because she's showing y'all how y'all need to be acting when these mosquitoes come around.
Not the mosquitoes. Got him.
Naive to know that there's going to be a moment in a relationship where you may run into a blast from the past.
Right.
And not all relationships end where there's turmoil. There could be
Right.
some where they mutually leave as friends,
Right.
but not setting the tone to allow your significant other to be comfortable is where the trust starts dwindling.
Right.
So I like how she set that up. Like she brought her wife into play, saying, she's not gonna like that.
Right.
And I knew Monica gonna be trouble when
Right.
she
That was,
said, "Oh, y'all got trust issues."
mm-hmm.
Mosquito.
Mm-hmm.
That's a mosquito
Mm-hmm.
response. Take
Mosquito
notes.
response.
When they respond like that, that's when you have to exit stage left.
So I want to add, to that piece. When Dre saw her, I think Dre handled himself very, very well, very, very well. Um, and what's big here in this moment is, even though Dre, right, had a little trouble in the marriage,
Mm-hmm.
right, before, she didn't let that you know come into play in that moment. Does that make sense? Because
Because
there's
she could have been
sometimes,
going for her get back.
yeah, it's like, all right, I'm gonna give my lick back real quick,
Because this was supposed to be her. She was planning on marrying Monica.
right,
That's her ex fiance.
right. So for her to set that boundary, and then also it's like come on, we're all human, right? You ain't want this, somebody else. I'm with somebody else, so you're gonna have to again exit stage left. But we'll see how that unfolds because I think them working in the same office, as you said, she's already being a mosquito. I'm curious to know
Like I trust Dre.
absolutely, absolutely,
However, I get the vibes that she hasn't healed
mm,
from this.
all the way, right?
Because we immediately knew who broke up with
Mm,
who.
right,
We weren't talking about just surface things.
right.
So I feel like that's a big trigger for her. So we're going to see that unfold in front of our eyes. Now we see an interesting scene from Marcus and Gemma.
Mm,
Now, Gemma's running out of money, right? We
Mm-hmm.
already know
And
it's going to be
Tom.
taken. She's running out of money and time,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like she's doing more than the average child you would see do if agreement was made
Right.
like that.
Right.
So how much time is enough time if we really want to support our kids to get to follow her dreams because she seems very passionate? Is a year enough time? Do
It,
you feel like he's
being
giving
realistic.
her, huh?
If do I feel like he's being realistic?
Yeah,
I think from a father's aspect, and just seeing how his character and Gemma's character have been interacting and growing over the seasons. I think he definitely wants what's best for his daughter, and from where he sits, right, this is not the conventional way of doing things, so to speak,
right,
right? Because if you notice what he said, he says, I just don't want, a daughter who got no degree and broke. I don't know if
right.
that was his exact words, but
Yeah,
that's
it
basically
was
what he
in that
said.
line.
And so to him, he wants his daughter to, go in that, get that degree and probably get a really, really good high paying job, but there's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
So, but she has other plans. Fine. Is a year enough? Who knows? It could be, and then it couldn't be. But I just know that it's come. I feel like it's coming to a head because her and Maisha. If you're already
It's gonna,
seeing it.
yeah.
Yeah. So time is ticking. Time is ticking definitely.
I like that this conversation was even added to the episode because we come from even the background of you 18 get out my house. You know,
Yeah.
we come from our parents just living the norm.
Right.
We are now igniting our minds trying to think outside the box,
Right.
and I'm looking at the type of network that Gemma's dad may have. How are you contributing to her even expediting to her goals? Are you just looking at the money leaving and not looking at what she's actually doing? Like it brought up so many questions when I
Yeah.
heard saw their interaction.
He has to buy in. He hasn't bought in. That's really
Right,
what it comes down to. He has not bought in to her. He thinks it's something that she's now trying, right? Because she's trying to find herself.
right.
And there is also that level when a certain level of parenting where I kind of know what's best for you until you know what's best for yourself. So I'm sure that's playing a part as well, right?
And I'm like, as a parent, how do you determine that middle? Because that's what I would love to. Like, you will want to. If Lamar came to me and said, "Mom, I want to do this," as a mom, I want to be able to support every single thing. But how can I say something may not be realistic, or who am I to say that is realistic or not?
True. I'm still looking for the manual when it comes to
Somebody send
that.
us the manual, because
Right.
but it definitely starts conversation. Like I like that he even gave her the opportunity to do this, but I think it's also could be very discouraging. When you're trying to put that time on someone, especially a year. Like even a business not successful in a year. So is he really setting her up to get her dreams, to allow her dreams to come true? I don't know. I don't know.
What I will say is Gemma is a very, very ambitious young
Hmm.
lady.
Yep.
So whether it's this or something else, I'm willing to I'm waiting to see what unfolds. That's
She's
really
gonna
what I'm into.
succeed. Right.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Fatima's having brunch with her friends, and it's giving me interrogation time. It's giving me she's been boo loving up under Victor for some months, and they haven't seen her come up for air, and they're trying to probe and see if she's feeling safe, if she's feeling well, and if she's taken care of. They ask if she trusts him. She does have a little hesitation, but it was funny to watch when I believe the lady's name was Iris with the long
Hmm.
colored hair.
Hmm.
She made a comment of saying that every woman wants to be financially taken care of.
Is that true?
No,
Okay.
and I can only speak for myself.
Okay. Okay.
There's something about me having my own
Hmm.
that I'm prideful about.
Absolutely.
So for me to make it a requirement that you have to take care of me, no. But it has to be a requirement that you can.
Right. I think
There's
it's
a
more. I
difference.
think it's more sexy like that. Like you don't. I have the means to do so if I need to,
Right.
but you have your own. That's a totally different like feel.
Right. And I feel
Absolutely.
like it gets lost in the sauce a lot because not every woman has that desire. Like, I want to have my own. For some reason, I don't know where it came from. I don't like feeling like I owe people nothing. So she's speaking for herself. she
Hmm.
wasn't. She wasn't talking about me. But it was good hearing different perspectives
Hmm.
there, and it seemed like they was really riding her.
Right.
It looked like she was a little uncomfortable.
Right.
But I can't have those overbearing friends that feel like they telling me how I need to live my life or how you think I should.
I think it was more from a protective aspect, you know,
Yeah.
and it's funny because I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. We just talking shooting the breeze as guys, and he said, one thing that I could say. This is what he said. One thing I could say about women, they always have at least one or two women that they can go and talk to, you know, and whether counsel is good or bad, right? They always have that. So that was her counsel, so to speak.
Right, right.
So
And it's good to see a little bit more into her life as well because we haven't seen that.
right.
So Monica invites Dre for coffee. Dre turned that down. She started showing off pictures of her grandchildren. She
Hmm.
was a proud grandma.
Yeah,
I like seeing that.
yeah.
So she showed off pictures, but Monica mentioned that Nina wasn't her type.
Rude.
Rude as hell. Cause what that mean? What you trying to say?
I
She
see
trying
who's
to
not
shake the
over who.
table. Keisha's washing dishes, and I think she was listening to positive affirmations. Was that what that was? It sounded very dry.
Shout out to
I
Keisha.
couldn't tell what that
Shout out
was.
to Keisha, man.
Keisha, she not doing too good.
You think so?
She not.
I just can't quite put my finger on why, though. You know, I guess I'll be able to determine that a little later in more episodes. But I am watching the interaction between her and Emmett, but I just can't. I don't know what it is. Just don't know.
Keisha, we're seeing Keisha post so much trauma. With Emmett speaking to Duda, well, not speaking, but working with Duda, I think that adds another layer of trauma, potential trauma, I should say. Is that the right word? Or it adds another layer of
Stress, maybe.
stress, not having that feeling of
Hmm.
security, and we're just seeing the results of it because it's like a screaming match ever since the beginning
I, I can't.
of season
I don't know
six.
if it's a screaming match because every time she comes with it, Emmett got his two hands up with the white gloves. You know what I mean? So I think Emmett's taking a real like he's kind of like Dre. Like I just want to keep the peace. She said she won.
I don't think she knows how to be his piece.
Oh, you said a word. Yeah. Okay. All right.
The second he opened the door, it wasn't Keisha, it was Nina.
Mm, mm,
She was acting like her mother.
mm,
Like there was no kiss
mm.
exchange.
Little peck of something.
There's no
Right.
hug. How's your
Right.
day?
Watch these kids though.
You could have all these concerns and communicate that differently after the man takes off his damn jacket.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Absolutely. Amen to
I'm just
that.
saying, but I just think we're seeing so many sides of it. Part of what Emmett is contributing and part of the skills that she doesn't have. So the kids break some glass. She's saying that she needs a
Hmm.
nanny and a
Yeah.
maid.
Yeah. She was.
Like, how did we jump from A to Z?
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's a form of her needing to express herself about, I guess, whatever she's feeling. And then, I guess them not having the communication, so to speak, you know,
Right.
because then she just didn't she say that and then she left, and then
Mm-hmm.
she went to Tiff's house. Right,
Tiff's house. I'm thinking she was getting ready for a damn
right,
test,
right, right, right.
and you in a rush for some damn dip. And then y'all having these adult ass conversations in front of these kids and wonder why EJ calling Ronnie a bitch.
It's not funny, but
I mean, we could talk about this for days and days. Like, it's so many layers to it.
it's not funny, but it kind of I chuckled a little bit. I think I was last episode where that happened. I chuckled a little bit.
I think I was the only one that didn't chuckle because you're not gonna talk to baby Ronnie like that. Like, he could barely keep his neck up.
We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Before we know, that can also, overall to be adding to the stress. I thought about this. I said, the way that Emmett said that he was feeling, right, in the men's group when he was talking, I wonder if Keisha has like the similar feeling of maybe not feeling in control. Um, again, knowing that, as you said, knowing that Duda is bad news and not really knowing how the repercussions of that, is going to
He can't
impact the
promise
family.
safety.
You know,
There's nothing that Emmett could say to promise Keisha.
so this again, goes right back to that same scene because Emmett said, he said, I wish that people kind of like pull me up instead of always putting me down. Right? I think Emmett
Right.
is doing the best that he can with the information that he has, right? And he's in a very peculiar place, again, as a business owner, right? And he really turned nothing into something. Okay,
Right.
I got to give Emmett his credit. He may not have it all together at home, but what I will say is this: I think that Keisha might need um, a brother who has a little bit more of a presence than what Emmett's able to give her. Because sometimes I feel like the way she be talking to him sometimes, and then Tiff be trying to handle Emmett, I just be like, yeah, y'all need to chill a little bit.
But and that shows women really are the reflecting image of their man. We see Tiffany acting that way. The only thing that's changed is the women.
Mm,
The man is
mm,
constant, is able to submit
mm.
and live in that soft girl life when he checks those boxes of her feeling safe, secure, all of that.
So I agree with that, but I also want to give a slightly, another perspective as well. Sometimes I feel like maybe, especially in this moment, um, a woman might not know how much power she truly has because she
Hmm.
can speak life into that man, right? She can be that rock,
Hmm.
and she can, it's happened all the time, not just with myself, but even with friends of mine. Like, you can say something and your lady be the one to figure it out. You're like, wow, like I didn't see that
Hmm.
perspective. So I think again, it comes down to communication, and if Keisha knew what to say, when to say it. As you said, she could have probably maybe kissed
Right.
him when he came in first, and then said, "Hey, listen, these kids are wild, and I'm out of here."
Hmm.
It would have came over
Right.
differently, So, while yes, the man is
I feel
supposed
like
to provide certain things, I think
a women
also,
is too.
you know,
I They need couples
yeah,
counseling at this
don't
point.
we all, right?
I truly think that they're both not saying
Right.
what they need to say to each other as well. And that's where the breakdown of their communication is coming from. But let's move it along because we could talk about them two all day. First of all, Maisha wasn't laying nothing in that booth. I'm gonna be
Yo, shout
honest.
out to Maisha, man.
No, compared to where she's come, you could tell she's really struggling trying to find her
She's
sound.
really trying to find it, And I think as an artist, they all go through that, right, to find their lane.
Right.
Um, but yeah, shout out to Maisha, man. Shout out to Maisha.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
her. Gemma's asking the producers, I believe, what their feedback is. And based off of what she's laying down in the booth compared to today's competition, they're not really feeling it. An hour goes by real fast when you're in the booth, especially when you're trying to find your sound because now you're doing all these layers. It's a lot that goes into recording. So Gemma informs her that you know, you need to start warming up before we even get here.
Because Gemma Daddy on
It's
her
like
back,
we
okay?
reminded that they're high school students. Right. We reminded that they're high school students. Because again, there's another conversation that could be had to get the outcome that she's looking for. But they're arguing because Gemma on one end, she has that urgency because of her dad. Maisha, she like, listen, I'm cool with going to Spelman. I don't know what school she's trying to go to, but she cool with going to college.
No, you can definitely see the
Okay.
difference in upbringing, right? Gemma, as you say, Gemma
Right.
has that like we gonna get this and get this together. And then she was like, yeah, but if this is what you truly want to do, there is no plan B, right? Maisha's kind of like, hey, well, you know what? I can always go to school. You're right, but I think at that moment you start to also see, I started seeing like strands of their friendship. I'm just hoping, right? Because
Yep. It really
right,
started from
they
her
both
first
need to
show.
develop, and I just hope that they give each other
Hmm.
that grace.
Right.
Shout
Papa.
out to Papa. Shout out to
Big
Papa.
Papa.
Okay, shout out to Papa. Papa is applying all the pressure in the world, but he's always applied pressure. I can say that in his own
He
way.
has. He's a man that
Okay,
knows what he wants, and he puts forth
intent,
intention, and he is on
the whole
Kenya's
neck.
neck.
Okay,
So you remember she invited him out to bowling because he stood up for her last week at Smokies, and Kenya invited him bowling, and I think she was playing like she didn't know how to bowl.
as she should, as she should, as she should.
And Papa,
Papa,
just like he should, he comes and
mhm.
instruct her. She gets a strike, but he gets true brownie points when her
Yeah, that's
song
why I
came on.
requested it. True, Papa. That's right, boy.
They ended with a kiss. And oh, if y'all didn't hear, they were playing Sweet Love by Anita Baker. I love that song. So Papa for
Hmm.
the win. Go
That's
ahead, Big
right. That's
Papa.
right. That's right.
We finally get to see them put Victor's name on his
Hmm.
office.
I did.
Did you peep
I
that?
did.
They put the name on there, and of course, leave it up to Shy to find someone to insert in the scene to just ruin the moment. Rosalind again, she just messing up everybody's moments in this
I
episode
like the way she moved.
because his smile went to a
I like the
frown.
way she moved. Like she moved with like no rules apply to her. She gonna mess up your moment.
Right.
You need to have a seat.
That's why she was like,
Hmm.
"Miss you too. You gonna see
Hmm.
me anyway. There's no. You might as well just take a seat." So she informs Victor that Q was an informant and that whatever he says here is safe with her. Because what is she, a lawyer or something?
I have no clue. I don't know, but she's something because she's privy to a lot of
I need some
information.
people to chime in to let me know.
She's privy to a lot of information.
Right. I don't know where she's getting all this information, but she learns based off of Victor talking. He's already saying too much. That he's now an accomplice at this point. That he saw Q damn near hanging on, and Duda pretty much ended him in front of Victor. So that's how Victor got included with this whole drama. And he's just trying to move forward with his life. He's trying to do the right thing. And here Duda is again wrapping him up in his bull. It's ridiculous. Victor just can't get it.
Anybody who comes into contact with dude, I told you, does not get out too clean. So I want to see how this plays out as well. But when she said that to him, he did have this look on his face. I don't know if you saw. He kind of rocked back a little bit and had this look that Victor has when his mind is working. So I'm
Because he's going to try
oh
to
yeah,
find a
oh
way to
yeah,
get out of
oh
this.
yeah. And he said,
He's
I'm
going to try to
tired of
find a way.
lying. So we'll see how that plays out.
Right. Mm-hmm. Cairo, Tiff, and Rob. Again, every time Cairo blesses us on screen, I go down a rabbit hole of research. I got stuff bookmarked on how I'm going to grow it because I don't believe in coincidence. He peaked some entrance, and it's not a coincidence. Dope Flames, we just gonna drop it there. That sounds like something. That sounds like a strain.
Absolutely,
I'm just saying,
absolutely,
dopeflames.com. I'm just
absolutely,
saying.
absolutely.
He's given the education that we need. He's showing them the process. And he's making you think of things that I didn't even know was a part of the
True
process.
connoisseur.
When it comes to the quality of, just what you're smoking. So I like that they even informed us on this. We didn't know a lot of this stuff was required,
Right.
even down to
Hmm.
the blower.
So
He
right,
blew my mind with that.
right, right. But and it made me think back to the times that I lit up. I'm like, damn. So they didn't have a blower in the joint. That right? I'm like, I could tell they didn't have one of those. I could tell.
As they're going, they're learning that this process is not going to be that 100,000 that they thought. They learned that it's going to keep adding up a little bit. But this is an investment. This is a phenomenal
Yeah.
investment. I
If
think
you're gonna
so.
do it correct, yes. Organic soil, everything, yes, absolutely. I didn't even light it up, but just looking at them, I'm like, damn, I like some good weed. You know,
That's some good stuff.
absolutely.
So it's a battle of the sexes. We have Kenya, Papa,
Hmm.
Lene, Bakari,
Hmm.
Gemma, Jake, Kevin, and
Hmm.
Maisha. Everybody's all in attendance. And this is a dynamic that we
Right.
haven't seen. This is
Yeah.
Kevin's
He's
crib.
lamping. He's chilling. He's chilling.
He is chilling. So they playing categories. I believe that's the game where you have to guess a word based off of saying other words. It gets a little heated because Kenya is dropping the ball. She's not picking up these clues. She's not picking up on what they're trying to put down. And here come Maisha with herself, sounding like a little hater. Every time Papa brings somebody around, she got
It's
something to
hard to get
say.
over a great one, okay? Yeah,
And she left
man, it's like
him.
that sometimes. You don't know what you had till it's gone now.
You think
A
she
little
still
bit.
got feelings
I
for
think
Papa?
so. I think so. Again, he moves with such intention, you know.
How did you feel about Kenya putting down my boy Papa like that?
That's what's throwing me off. I'm like, I don't understand. You were to me, you were throwing him rhythm when you were dropping him off in the car. I think in a previous episode, right? And now in front of friends, it's like kind of like saying that y'all not together. I'm just like, okay,
And did it have to be in front of the mixed
right.
company
Which
like
goes
that?
back to right what you were talking about a couple minutes ago. Absolutely, not in
Hmm.
front of the company.
Gemma and Maisha, there's some tension still there.
Oh yeah, oh
They almost went back
yeah.
and forth there when Maisha said you always working, but Gemma's been cutting it down. She's been squashing it. She could tell they gonna have they gonna have their moment though, but it's getting real escalated between them two.
And it's pressure. Gemma has pressure from
Yeah.
dad, and Maisha just has pressure basically from life. She needs money.
Hmm.
You know,
Nuck is still going around with this damn bag of money, and we see him in Pastor Jackson's office.
yeah, he tried everything. He tried everything.
Like how much can this man say no?
And shout out to Pastor because he's really standing his ground. You know, and you know again the common denominator is Duda, right? A true villain though. Oh man, I shout out to Duda.
He just stayed
Yeah,
dangling the
yeah,
carrot,
but he said no. He said no.
and we couldn't even see what the outcome was
Right.
after that. They went into the other scene with
Mm-hmm.
Emmett and Darnell, and Emmett said she dumped the kids on me. Now, why he have to say
Because
it
that's
like
how he
that?
felt.
They really need
That's
to
how he
talk.
felt.
I just wish he would switch up his language. But it also shows, and I like that he said, Darnell wasn't that great example either to show how he juggled it. Because Darnell made the comment and said, these are your kids. You got to share the load. He's like, you didn't share the load with my mom. So
Yeah, yeah.
again, you can't do what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the brother circle,
Okay.
and we have a good amount of people in attendance. And this scene, I really enjoyed seeing it because as women, we don't know the day to
Mm-hmm.
day struggles
Mm-hmm.
that men have. We can't even begin to write a list. There's so many things that you guys are thinking about on a daily basis, and sometimes we don't even know how to help. I loved how they used this moment, this platform to show the normalcy and just even if it's not a therapist, it's somebody finding a group of people to really,
That's
shoot the
right.
shits with, but also get
Right.
beyond the surface.
Brothers holding brothers accountable. Absolutely.
Right. You know, um, just briefly what everybody was feeling. Victor was feeling like the weight of his new career was just overpowering him. He's in a career of helping the community, not necessarily them helping him. So I get how, now his perspective probably has changed. He accomplished a goal, but I don't think he anticipated this
You
outcome.
know, it's a new level that he's at, and especially when you go into something that has that much responsibility, I can understand. You know what I mean? But again, I just think that Victor's such a genuine person, right? Every time I'm looking, he's always
Right,
been that very emotional and genuine person that he is fully invested. He's fully invested.
right.
So that adds its own weight to it. Does that make sense? Um, so
Absolutely.
even to put that
Absolutely.
that that men's group together is not just therapy for them, but it really is therapy for him. You know.
Right, right. So we hear Marcus vent about his girlfriend. We hear Shad talk about his money situation, but also how, you know, I wanna relate to you guys, but you guys are living what I desire. So I feel as if you guys are complaining, but that's what makes this whole journey so interesting. Everybody's on different paths, and it's just really trying to find out where we can meet each other at to help lift each other up. Jamal is speaking about his disappointment that he know he's caused for the people around him. But what did you take from this? Because I really enjoy and
Right.
happy that you're here for this episode, just to really hone in
Right.
on the male's perspective.
That that space in the episode was relatable on a lot of levels, right? Because I feel like we can all relate personally, right, as men, or we know somebody can relate, right? But that safe space was everything. That safe space is everything. And I'm hoping that it continues to be a safe space, right? Um, but to see where everyone is in their lives as men, and what was big for me was when Jamal said, Vic, how can we support you? That for me was big. You know what I mean? That
That
for
was
me was
powerful.
big because again, I don't know how many men usually hear that, especially from another man. You know, so that was
Yeah,
big. That was powerful.
right. And it helps you get into even the mindset of trying to determine what that may be. Because if you're not used to being asked that question, you're not used to even giving a response when it's asked, you
Or the
know,
knee jerk response is, "Man,
and it
I'm good.
shows,
I'm gonna be all right." You know,
right? Like, we need to start getting better with not
right?
saying I'm good, trying to find that village that when you're not good, they could at least give you some encouraging words.
The Shy is
Something.
such feel good TV, man. It is for
It is. It's very
real,
nostalgic
for
to
real,
me.
for real.
So Tiff and Keisha's having a girls' night out with this damn dip that she ran out with. I was really mad that she ran out just to go bring some dip to Tiff's house.
I think she's really looking for, yeah, she's looking for outlet. She's looking for outlet. She's looking for outlet.
Yeah, she needed time.
I always think about this. I'm like, they moved into a bigger place. It's a house now, right? And with that house comes responsibilities. I always be like, can't wait. When I build my mansion, I'm like in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna have to clean that bad boy, though. So you think about the responsibilities that come with
Right.
more, and that's probably
Right. So Gemma and Jake are talking now, and she asks Jake if he thought Kevin and Maisha was weird.
it,
Remember at
it
the
was out
party,
of left field.
I think he was just caught up with just the
Yeah,
vibe because everybody's coupled up. And then they had a lot of 420 festivities going around, so he forgot that
right.
he's supposed to be
He
on the
was.
low. And he said,
I
"I would never cheat on you."
was
Tried to cover. Everybody looked at him
oh,
like,
oh,
"What are you talking about?"
yeah.
Nothing, nothing, nothing.
He was laid back chilling with the vape.
She notices that someone posts his clothing on their page.
That
So they had
reposted
a
Jake,
rapper or
yes.
something like that
Yeah.
reposted Jake, and he had on his shirt. So Jake is on
Right.
cloud nine because I know what
Right.
that feel
Right.
like when
Amen.
somebody share your stuff, but because Miss Lena Way
Amen.
shared my
Amen.
stuff when I posted
Right.
my first episode. If y'all want to see it, I'll post it again. Just let me know. Gemma, you could
A
tell
little
she
bit.
was a little salty.
A little bit.
She wants things to go that way for her, but I think she's doing all the things that she needs to do. Darnell and Jada, the infamous
This
ditty.
was funny.
Okay. I listen, I said I think there's gonna be a point in time where this is gonna blow up and we get into that point in time. So Darnell, we set in the scene. Darnell and Jada invite um Shad and Deja over for dinner. The bell rings, and in
Mm-hmm.
comes Tiara and
And
Marcus.
you saw how happy Shy was. Like, oh, that's my dog. Yeah, look on in here, man.
And the minute he saw the girl that he'd been lusting over, wait, but did you peep when he said, "And I'm lusting over a girl," and Emmett was like, "Who, Keisha? Because you was at my house earlier." Did you peep that at the circle when they was
No,
in
I can't
their
believe
bro
I'm
talk?
acting like this.
Watch it back. Watch it back. Tiara comes in and Deja never liked Tiara from the jump, especially after he made the comment, "You look so good, I could eat," or something like that along those lines. She's been
She had
holding
Shy a
on to
little
this
open. Remember,
comment.
Shy just came home not too long ago either, so you know, yeah, I can understand. But that was it was more funny to me because the exchanges between them at the table and then her eyeballs, how she was looking.
But what did you think about the black version of Sexy Maid?
What you mean?
Because this sounds like something you would have said when when Darnell
Mhm,
said he had an idea that he wanted to run past Shad, and he said he wanted to have like the black sexy
mhm,
maid version where he had
mhm.
Hanson brothers
Oh,
and two belts and fixed
and he
things.
was like, we fixed pipe now, lay pipe. Darnell is I think Darnell is needed right on the shot, and again I'm all for Darnell's story, right, for the redemption, right, he on a redemption tour. I just like where Darnell is at right now, especially him and Jada.
Judah and Bianca were
Yeah,
discussing who's going to take over his throne.
right.
Who do you think is cold enough
Well,
to take your
it
place?
hasn't. I haven't seen who's cold enough, but my speculation is Bakari because he was the only one
Mm,
out of the whole group that was missing at that point when they were going through the room.
right, right,
Shout out to Bakari because he's going through his own struggles. You see, he drops his head mostly every
right.
episode because he's like torn, you know. Um,
Hmm. We see Tiff and Rob on their pursuit, the pursuit to get the permit, and what expectation I'm trying to wonder that Tiff what did Tiff think?
well, I don't, remember they don't fully understand the process. They're now figuring it out, right? But all I'm going to say is that Tiff is in the driver's seat. Tiff is driving this thing, okay? Um, and it's kind of was surprising to me because when she met Rob, nice home, so on and so forth. I thought that Rob would kind of be the driver in this, but I realized that right, Tiff is on it. She's like, you know what? If he
That's
ain't
what
gonna
I
give it to
thought
me,
too.
we're gonna do this regardless.
If anything, it
Mm,
just made me want to see more of Tiff's background
now,
because
mhm.
she has this urgency of I need this now, and I. It's just she has to be her own boss. She has to have her independence. So I want to see more
Right, like
on
we know Gemma's dad played a part, so we want to know with Tiff what played that part. Got you.
right, right. What's the
Mm-hmm.
urgency? Like I, it could have some dealings with Duda,
that that creates a sense of
because
urgency,
nobody wants
definitely.
to work for a dude that killed people for chewing gum. So I get that. I feel like there's more to her. So I would like to see more into who Tiff is. Fatima is looking over swatches at this point. Remember, she gets a little budget to redecorate the house, and she has her girlfriends over. But one of
Hmm.
Jake's customer gets very disrespectful.
Shout out to Jake for coming and setting that whole room straight.
Jake is that person. It's a spade a spade. I don't care who it is. But if you in my house, you got to respect my house. And if you can't respect it, you got to go. And
Mm-hmm.
that should be the same precedence for everybody. Just because someone is different, just because they love a certain person or feel like they identify
Right.
a certain way,
Lack of
just for your
maturity.
lack of understanding doesn't mean you have to go disrespect people or
Mm-hmm.
make them feel less than. So I really like how they're trying to
Absolutely.
break down that
And you
stigma.
peeped how her protective tribe shook their head like, okay, you good over here, okay.
Hmm. Because all it really
Right.
boils down to is acknowledgement. I would never go off the top to say I'm the most educated person, but it's really acknowledgement. Acknowledge that I'm a person, I'm a human, and regardless of who I am or what I
Right.
do,
Watch your
shouldn't
mouth.
determine how
Right.
you treat me.
Watch your mouth.
Yes,
Absolutely.
right.
Hmm.
So that was good to see. So here we go. Nuck drops off the bag of money at Emmett's.
Listen,
That bag went around, man.
listen.
That bag went around.
So niggas doing what niggas supposed to do, right? But there's a part in the episode when Emmett said, sometimes the streets get into your house. I don't know if you caught that, right? And that in
Mm-hmm.
there, that's when that was big for me. I was like, oh shoot, here we go. Added stress in the household. Me
Right,
me thinking Keisha gonna find that money is the probability is very high, very high.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right. I
Mm-hmm.
think she gonna find it. And you think Nuck gave it to Emmett on purpose to get him in trouble?
Okay, I see what you're getting at. I see what you're getting at. I definitely see what you're getting at. Okay. I'm gonna say you reaching
Or am
right
I
now.
reaching?
I'm gonna say you reaching right now because
Okay.
I think Nook just really didn't know what to do with it. Right. I think that's what it came down to. But I'm hoping that he don't got his eye on Keisha because you'll see a side of Emmett. You know what I'm saying, that you never seen before.
We still know that that conversation is not done between Nuck
Absolutely not. I think
and
that's when Emmett gonna have to call Donnell for that piece. But go ahead. Go ahead with
Pastor
it.
Jackson is
Amen.
delivering the good word to his congregation. And the message, the word seemed like it was talking
Mm-hmm.
directly to Duda. What did you think about the word? Like, did you feel like it was towards him?
Yes, yes, in a way, but I feel like it just bounced right off of Duda. I think
Mm,
Duda was kind of there because he had to be there, so to speak, right? Because everybody was there. Um, but yeah,
mm.
I think it bounced right off of him. It might have missed him.
But when Pastor was done, Duda instructed Nuck
With the
with the
beret.
beret on. Because I have to mention his beret. Because where
I was
it's the
about to say
turtleneck and the
turtleneck and
beret
beret,
for
huh?
me. Like, but Duda instructs
Mm-hmm.
Nuck to take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
And Nuck agreed. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Nuck is loyal, man. For real, for
So,
real. I don't think so, but they're gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. I think so.
mm,
They'll make him an offer that he can't refuse. Um, Dude is a necessary evil, right? In the shy.
right.
Um, we're just really gonna have to let that play out and see. I don't know. Pastor's doing a great job so far, but so is Shad. You know,
Right, right.
so we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
Yeah. Well, that sums up episode 4. Do you have any predictions for the rest of the season or what you think is happening next week?
So for the season, I think that that Bakari is going to make a major decision. I don't know what it is. But what is playing out is it seems like some shift is going to have to happen. Either Duda is going to have to go away for a little bit, or he's going to have to hand the reins over in some way, shape, or form, right? And I think Bakari is going to play a pivotal role, right, in there. Also, I think that Shad is going to get in way over his head. I don't know if that's going to put his relationship in jeopardy. I'm not sure at this point, but just how it's set up, like she really took a chance on him, as he said. And that's another thing I want to add before we really wrap up is I like the fact of how like thankful Shad is,
Yes.
right, over his
Yes.
lady, right, and his relationship. There's a sense of gratitude there, so shout out to Shad.
Because he could have been out here
Absolutely,
like
well, not
Jody.
Jody, not Jody. You know,
Jody had been going crazy, okay? I like
right,
that he's trying to see past where he's at. Some people just
right.
content. So he really trying to
Uh,
climb out. So I like
mhm.
seeing that. My prediction for Maisha and Gemma, there's definitely gonna be a breakdown. I think it's gonna happen next episode. I think they avoided a lot of conflict this episode, but it's gonna come to a head to the point they can't avoid it. But I hope that they're able to salvage their relationship and find a common ground.
I I
'Cause I do like them
I
two
think that
together.
the predictions that we put out. I think I'm curious to see how it plays out. But one thing also that we have to kind of like just pay attention to is I hope that this men's group stays organic, right?
Yes.
So,
Why do you think? What make you say that?
Again, Victor is a very, very compassionate person. And I think that, his intent for the group is correct, right? He needs that just as much as they do. But his chief of staff being there and his chief of staff never shared. I don't know if I'm missing something. I didn't see him share.
He hasn't. He hasn't shared.
Right.
He just
That
was
to
like
me was
the
kind of
host
like
of
the,
it in
why
a
is he
way.
there? I'm hoping that he doesn't turn this into something that benefits, Victor political and then thwarts somebody's, relationship with him. So,
Right.
right. They're being vulnerable
Because
in this
these are
room,
people's vulnerable
so
moments. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good perspective there because I'm like, that is true. He was sitting there. He didn't say anything. Um, hmm. And he's more eager to get all this stuff done. Like he has that more political mindset too than Victor. So I feel like Victor is very genuine with, the brother circle. But I like that perspective right there. Did you
I
have
just
anything else you wanted to
I'm
add
just
with
happy to be
Victor?
here, man. Happy to recap, happy to give my 2 cents,
I thank you so
with
much
such a
for
dope
spending your
person.
time.
Um, and shout out to the Shy, shout out to everyone on the Shy, shout out to Lena Waithe.
Yeah, she did her thing, man, for the culture. We're definitely continuing the conversation. We're definitely breaking down stigmas. I'm excited to see what the rest of the season holds.
Yeah, me too.
But thank you for your
That's no problem, no problem. But thank
time.
you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Did you want to drop off your social media handles for
Yes.
us?
So, Penthouse Chamberlain.
Drop in the comments what you think. If you have any predictions for the rest of the season, if you just want to join the conversation, just make sure you drop the hashtag Shy Tea, and we'll